Hey Brookhaven friends, it's Mike, and tonight I'm going to show you how to make the most delicious homemade almond milk. My favorite part here is all the ingredients here can be found at your local Brookhaven store, and it takes about 5 to 10 minutes to make, so it's super quick, super easy, and here's how we do it. Starting off with ingredients, these are raw almonds. You can find them right around the produce section at your local Brookhaven store. I like these ones the best because they add some of the most flavor. The flavor is most rounded with some of the other ingredients, and it ends up being one of the more creamy textures, really giving it that milk feel in your finished product. Other thing is you're going to need some vanilla extract, cinnamon, whichever cinnamon that you like, and then honey. This honey I love. It's a cranberry blossom honey, and it's made in the USA, so definitely got to love that. But let's start off here. What you're going to want to start off doing is you're going to want to soak about a cup of almonds in filtered water in the fridge overnight. So that's super simple to do. After you have your almonds soaked, you're going to go ahead and strain the water out, give them a quick rinse just to make sure they're clean, ready to go, and again, that's about a cup of almonds. So you take your cup of soaked and cleaned almonds, you go ahead and put them in your blender. Quick note, if you're going to be doing this, your blender, make sure it's powerful enough and fast enough to really mince up the almonds. You're going to want them to be as fine as possible at the end, and that's only so you can extract the most amount of almond milk in your finished product. And I'm going to take about 2 3/4 to 3 cups of water. It just really depends on the flavor that you want to have. So I do about 2 3/4 cups and add that in there. Cinnamon, I think it comes to about a tablespoon here. I just like to take the jar, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Give it 10 little pats, and that gets about the amount that I like. And you can kind of play around with that amount as you continue making this to see which is your favorite for flavor. In terms of the vanilla extract, we take about a ½ tablespoon. I like to fill the cap up 3 times. And obviously different caps are different sizes, but this is the one that I always use, so it's always easy to figure out there. Okay. The honey, we like to use about 2 tablespoons of this honey. It really depends on how much of a sweet tooth you have, really. That looks about good. Close that up. Now, depending on your blender is really going to depend on some of the time here. About a minute should do it. And again, you really want to make sure that the consistency, you'll see it, it's going to look nice and creamy, a lot like your consistency of like cow's milk, and or if you've had coconut milk, maybe right around there, or if you've bought almond milk, it'll be very similar. Now, the reason I like so much making my own almond milk though is because some of the store-bought ones, they're amazing and great and super convenient, but I just like somehow having the control over the flavor. I mean, there's different things that you can do and add in here to make it great, and I really love this almond milk with coffee. So I'm gonna go ahead, when you do your blender, if you have the ability to kind of ramp up the speed, do that. If not, just put it on high, and like I said, for about a minute. So we're gonna do that really quick here. And there we go, that's right at a minute. So our next step here is I like to take the measuring cup that I had measured my water in, and I like to give this a quick straining first, right before our next step. So you can see that's nice. The consistency there is really like cow's milk. And just make sure we get it all in there. So if you have, this is a pretty standard strainer. It's not a super fine strainer, but we do have one more straining step, which uses like a cheesecloth. If you have that, I have a reusable one, just a reusable mesh bag that's used for cooking. Just because I do this so often, I didn't want to go through all those cheesecloths. So now that we have that complete, I'm gonna go ahead and give these a quick rinse. We'll be right back. So now we have our first strained and blended almond milk here. But even going through the blender for a minute, it's still a little bit, it's got some of the almond meal, which you can actually save, dry out, and use as almond flour later. I don't typically do that, but more power to you if you do. And here I have my reusable, what I like to call a reusable cheesecloth, or it's just a mesh bag used for cooking. But I reuse my blender container to pour my almond milk here. And as you can see, we're just giving it one more level of straining. There we go. Now this is my favorite part. If you want to use gloves, you could use gloves actually, because this is typically pretty cold. Or just make sure you have washed your hands beforehand. But we take our cheesecloth or reusable bag or whatever you have of the matter to strain it. And as you see, just give it a gentle squeeze. You don't want to squeeze it too hard, otherwise you're going to end up with almond milk everywhere. And we're just going to slowly work almond milk out of the almond meal here. And like I said, this is all not waste. I mean, you could take the leftover almond meal, you can add it to like a smoothie to give it a little bit more texture. You can lay it out on a paper towel or a towel and just let it dry out, and you'll have almond meal or almond flour to use in baking. So there's really little that goes to waste if you really, I guess, put your mind to it with that. But I'm gonna make sure we got everything we can out of here. You can just kind of squeeze down the bag, just make sure you got every last drop, because it is delicious. Okay, I'm gonna put that in. Gonna give my hands a quick wash, and then we're gonna enjoy. And now for my favorite step. It's fantastic. Definitely try this for yourself. Leave in the comments if you have any questions, let us know, and we'll be sure to answer any questions for you. We'd love to hear how yours turned out, and we'll hopefully see you in Brookhaven getting your almond milk ingredients soon. Oh my gosh, that is so good.